The Healing Spring Show, healing families and communities by breaking the stigma of addiction and expanding the scope of recovery. Now here's your host, John Edmonson.
Welcome back to the Healing Spring Show, and welcome back to another opportunity to grow, to heal, to learn. The question today is, can sobriety, can recovery be fun, exciting, engaging? I have the person who can answer that question. M2, The Rock, is here with us today to talk all about it. M2, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. What an honor to be here today.
Yeah.
And Healing Springs is just, what a great, look at this place. This place is just awesome. I'm looking forward to coming out and seeing it.
Looking forward to having you.
We talked about it before the show, and I'm going to be out there. And I know a lot of people that are a part of Healing Springs, and huge supporter. I just think y'all got great stuff going on.
Oh, we appreciate it. And we're big fans of you. I mean,
thank you.
Giving that message out, I watched the other day, and I was just amazed how you just continue to address the truth of the suffering, but then at the same time really bringing in solutions.
Right. And I deal with a disease. I do have a disease. I process alcohol and narcotics differently than the normal person.
Mm-hmm.
I have the disease is cunning, it's baffling, it's powerful. The disease talks to me in my own voice. The disease tells me that I don't have a disease. The phenomenon of craving is there. All these things where I'm dependent upon drugs and alcohol. And it made my life completely unmanageable. And I was completely powerless over drugs and alcohol. And the pain got so bad that I finally realized that I was powerless over alcohol. And I had to surrender and listen to professionals and listen to other men in recovery and take their suggestions. Sometimes I didn't like them. They were uncomfortable because I was scared, is what it boiled down to. But once I did that, my life has been nothing but incredible. And you started out earlier saying, can recovery be fun? Yeah. Absolutely. I am having a blast today. And my life today, I could have never dreamed it'd be like this.
So that's what I want to talk about. So some of the people watching the show are going to be, our awesome clients that are in recovery right now, and they're phenomenal people trying to make that change. We have our alumni group, and they're just incredible, and we're having that alumni event coming up, and we're going to see all that in that story. And there's also people that we want to come in, either get help with us or get help somewhere. Can you talk a little bit about your story? What was it like leading up to this? Was it just overnight, or how did it happen for you?
I was born with this disease. I mean, I truly, without getting it, if the debate, is it a disease or not a disease? Right. For me, it is a disease. I choose to treat it like a disease so I can live. Or I can choose not to treat it like a disease and die. That's simple. And so at a very young age, and the reason why I know alcohol and drugs is so powerful in my life, because when I was 10 years old, I was mowing the yard. And I always say this, I remember the number of clouds in the sky. I remember the direction the lawnmower was facing. I remember the wind. Wow. I remember the temperature. And I remember my dad walking out with a Schlitz beer with the tab that pulled off that you could flick in the street, back in the day.
That sound when you took it.
Yeah, everything. I mean, the details, and I'm sitting here describing my first drink. Now, I bring my dad in because he brought it, and he says, hey, why don't you come over here? And I sat down in the planter box with him, and we were just talking, and he says, would you like a sip of my beer? My dad may drink 2 beers a year. He is not one of us. I have spilt more alcohol in one night than he's drinking in his whole life, right? Yeah. And so I want to paint that going, oh my God, your dad's the villain. No, he's not. So I drank that first sip of alcohol, and something happened. Something happened. It went into my body. It went into me. The taste, as I'm telling you this, I remember the taste. I can taste it now. And that taste I loved. And then I had another one, and my stomach just melted like icing. Something happened. And for me, it was a spiritual awakening. I didn't have that first drink because I had a resentment. I didn't have that first drink because I was angry. I drank and did drugs from that day forward because I like the effect.
And you knew right then.
I knew
10
right
years
then
old.
something happened.
Something was different.
Now, the next day, did I rush and go get a beer? No. But something happened, and I didn't know what was happening.
Right.
I didn't know it was the beer. But for me, being a human being, when I felt anxious, I felt fear, I felt angry, I felt excited. I didn't know how to process these feelings. And what alcohol did for me was slow things down where I thought I was living in the now. And so when my brain would start thinking about the future, I would get very anxious and fearful, paranoid, and I didn't like that feeling. So then I would go to my past, and when I think about the past, I would be in guilt, shame, and remorse. I didn't like that feeling, so I would go back and forth, back and forth. But when alcohol and drugs were introduced to me, it created this delusion where I could live in right now. I didn't think about this or feel it. I didn't think about this or feel this. So alcohol and drugs made me think I was being normal like people that I saw. Because the way I felt and thought, I would see other people living their life appearing to be happy, joyous, and free, and I thought I was doing something wrong. Why can't I be like that person? I was delusional.
I wonder how many people out there are thinking that and connected to them, even not for alcohol, for other things, was I just want to be normal.
Right.
I just want to feel good.
Right. And so today, that's why when I say I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic, I'm a grateful recovering drug addict, because I recognize it. And today I have a program because of people like Healing Springs and professionals and other alcoholics and, all these other people that have brought these solutions. I'm like, oh, okay, this is the way life's supposed to be. And now I have tools. I am a 12-step guy. I am very faith-based. Jesus Christ is my higher power. It works for me. And now I understand this stuff, and now I have tools. When I get in fear, and I have tools to use it. As a result of, I don't use drugs and alcohol anymore, right? But I can't imagine the businessman that's not a drug addict or an alcoholic when he doesn't have these tools. He's in fear, and he's anxious and all of that.
Right.
What is his escape? A lot of times it's pornography, gambling, infidelity, spending, more work, workaholism, and all of these things. And it's that deadly cycle, and they don't have that inner peace.
It's powerful. You actually sound a lot like our clinical director, Melissa. She says the exact same thing. Let's broaden that span of what addiction really is.
Right.
We were talking to someone the other day, and like, man, I'm so glad I don't have addiction. It's like, well, maybe you do, maybe you don't.
Right.
But there's another part that you're talking about, which is the exciting part. I want everyone to hear is some people say, man, I'm so glad I didn't have to go through that. I don't have it. But you're almost saying, like, this is something that made you a better man in a way. And that life is actually better now because of the experience.
Right. When I speak, I speak a lot, and I'm not unique. I'm not unique. Now, my gift, my God-given gift, is speaking and spreading the message. God used me. I have a dramatic story. That's what I'm